Hello. Wow, this is an awful start to the week. My computer, for those that you cannot see here, is dead. Am I able to get onto it? I don't know. It's so dead. It's so dead. It's yeah. So I'm on my phone a little last minute. I'm a little stressed because my computer just died. But we have a lot to talk about today on Locked On Blues, and that will not stop. Robert Thomas season, and then I am ready for the season to begin. This is all coming up on Locked On Blues.
You're Locked On Blues, your daily podcast on the St. Louis Blues. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome back to the Locked On Blues. Thank you for making Locked On Blues your first listen every single day. Here, part of the Locked On Network, which you guys can find in all streaming services, Spotify, Apple Music, Sirius, wherever you get your platforms, and of course on YouTube. Hello, my YouTube people could see my dead computer. But yes, it is quite a day. But what I will say to start off this episode is hello and happy Monday. It is another week closer to hockey season. So for me, that is a positive. My name is Haley Simon, and I am your host of Locked On Blues. I love the St. Louis Blues. I've been covering the NHL for 5 seasons now. This all began back in 2019 when those St. Louis Blues went to the Stanley Cup Finals and defeated the Boston Bruins and brought home the first cup in franchise history. I know. Whenever I begin my episodes, I just love to start with that because I feel like it just puts me in a better mood thinking back to that time. And it wasn't that long ago, okay? So let's not freak out here. It wasn't that long ago. But it is come to my understanding that July is a bad sports month in general. When it is July, you think of 2 things. 1, it is really hot outside. 2, why aren't the Cardinals playing better? And 3, I guess you think of 3 things. When is it going to be hockey season again? Now, the whole Cardinals thing, for all my St. Louis folks out there, it's been frustrating watching them, but they're an all-star break right now. So, in reality, there is nothing going on today except here on Locked On Blues. We always have that going on every single Monday through Friday. Even when computers break and you're panicking because you don't want to spend $1,000 on a new computer. Oh, wait, that's me. Oh, that was the fakest laugh. All right. Business. Robert Thomas season. He is young, but he is going to kill it. I said that I could see Thomas being the potential captain of the St. Louis Blues. Call me crazy, but I see it happening. This is one of the most talented guys on the team. Not even just that fact that he's a leader, but his speed, his ability, it's everything about him just screams to me, captain. And I get it may not happen this season or next season, but maybe in like 2 seasons from now, he will be named the captain of the St. Louis Blues. There has been a lot of talk about, who will the new captain be? Will the Blues even name a captain? And let me just say this. I don't know. I don't know what the plans are going to be for this upcoming season. I can't tell you. I'm not a mind reader. I don't know what, Coach Berube's thinking. I don't know what Dougie A is thinking. Dougie A. But I don't know what's going to happen with the future of the team. But the thing is that Robert Thomas, for whatever reason, gives me so much hope. He gives me just a sense of excitement, a sense of future and relevancy. And this guy really could be the captain of your St. Louis Blues. I think when you and I talk, we can kind of go on tangents sometimes where I say something kind of crazy because I want to know your reaction. But am I crazy for saying that he could be the captain of the team? I like Brayden Schenn a lot. Schenn is a phenomenal player. He is, I believe, 32. He's getting a little bit older. I don't know, or maybe he's 31. But I don't know if I could see. Oh, there's my co-host Stella. For those on YouTube, you might see a cat. Oh, and you saw a cat jump. But I don't know if Schenn is going to be somebody that's going to be the captain. I want a captain to be here for at least 5 seasons. Call me old school, but for whatever reason, I really like the fact of having a captain that's going to last that long. I feel a sense of comfort and excitement, enthusiasm, and yeah, I just really would prefer to be a longer time than just a couple seasons or so. But it's okay. Again, co-host Stella in the back. Robert Thomas, though. I asked you on Twitter at Locked On Blues what you think of Robert Thomas this season, and every single one of you said breakout season. You said that this was going to be the best season yet. And maybe it is. And this is why leading up to the NHL regular season, I guess you can say preseason, I'm going to always ask you on Twitter at Locked On Blues what you think of each specific player, because I love, this is a fun fact about me. I really love breaking down individual players. I love the idea of asking a question. Do you think this guy will succeed, or do you think he's going to sink? And it's a simple answer, right? But at the same time, it sparks such a conversation, and that excites me. So again, folks, to you that are listening, never ever think that your opinion won't matter here on Locked On Blues, because it does. And if my stupid computer wasn't dead right now, oh wait, am I able to log in? Hold on. Wait, we might get, oh no, it died again. I was gonna say, if that didn't happen, I would be reading your tweets, but I can't do that when I don't have access to my computer. I do have an iPad though, but it does take a little while to charge. It's actually sitting right next to me as we speak because I was panicking about not having a computer. So this is my iPad. So I'm sure you guys will be seeing me use that within the next couple episodes if I do get a new computer. I can't believe this even happened today. Today has been one of those days, and I hate talking non-hockey, but we need to talk non-hockey for a second. Technology sucks, okay? Technology brings this podcast to you, so I'm thankful for that. But technology sucks. Oh my gosh. I feel like things are always breaking, and it just really sucks. So I do apologize. I wish that this could be on my computer. I wish that things could be different. But tomorrow I'll just have to record in the studio at my station because there's a computer there. And then hopefully within the next couple of days, I get myself a new computer. So it's going to be a lot of money down the drain, but it will bring you better content for Locked On Blues. So I guess that it will even out in a sense. I don't know. I just had to take a moment and just go through that. All right. So before I continue, if my cat doesn't stop scratching me, I want to tell you about Athletic Greens. Okay, I memorized this because, again, I don't have a computer. Athletic Greens. Talk about a nutritious supplement. Athletic Greens is so good, and it's so healthy. They've helped over 200 million different people out there by donating. So if you go to athleticgreens.com and use code LOCKEDONNHL, you will get money off. Dun, dun, dun. So make sure you guys go to athleticgreens.com/LockedOnNHL. All right. Next topic. I'm ready for hockey season. I yelled at my cat. I got scared. I hate this time of year. I just want to see the St. Louis Blues play some hockey. And it's one of those things where it feels like it has been forever since I've seen them play. I know them playing against the Stars in April wasn't that long ago, but it feels like it was that long ago. It's funny. I just really want some hockey. I'm a girl who loves hockey. And I'm sure you like hockey too, because you're obviously listening to this podcast or watching on YouTube. Subscribe at Locked On Blues. But this time of year sucks because prospect development camp had happened. It was fun. All right, what's next? Training camp. Okay, well, it's July. That's not happening till next month. So you're telling me all of July, a majority of August, I need to wait for more No. No, 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 no. This is the problem, and I understand the NHL. Like, I get these players need to go on a break, they need to rest, but it just feels like they're missing out on something huge in July. Maybe if they had like a tournament or something for fun, I don't know. I just feel like okay. Like, I'm not like a business person whatsoever, but I do feel like business wise, they could be making, like, the NBA, for instance. They're gonna have a tournament during like, I believe it's Christmas time or whatever, this coming season. What if the NHL just did something, even if it's with like the kids they drafted or something, where they had like a mini like 3-on-3 tournament or something? I don't know. I'm just brainstorming here. At least I'm coming up with ideas, NHL, where we can at least have some hockey. Because I feel like right now I am thinking of things to do. And okay, first off, I don't like many things that don't involve the game of hockey. I play like all the NHL games, like the video games. All I do is read hockey blogs. I listen to hockey podcasts. I do a hockey podcast. Hello, Locked On Blues. And it's not enough. I need some hockey action. I will say, the Blues social media account, they do a very good job of interacting with fans, getting things done, and making it at least entertaining. But it is still not enough. All I am asking for, I'm not asking for the NHL to come back early. I'm asking for just something in July. Maybe if they just do instead of Christmas in July, like Puckmas in July, and they just do something. I don't know. But July is okay, like, as sports fans, July is one of the worst months, unless like you're obsessed with baseball. But even then, if your team sucks, it's like you have nothing else to watch. Because the Cardinals, they're not doing good at all. And it drives me insane. My friend that does Locked On Cardinals, he does a great job, but it has just been a rough year for St. Louis teams. A rough year. A very rough year, actually. Thank God we don't have the Rams, because could you imagine how awful it would be if there was just like a whole slate of just like bad St. Louis teams? Okay. But the Battlehawks, baby, if you know my XFL. No, and soccer, of course, but it's one of those times of the year where you got to ask yourself, and this is a question I propose to you, because I'm curious. Today is going to be more of like a fun, lighthearted episode because I don't have my computer and it just died as I was filming. So we're kind of going a little bit off the rails, I guess you can say, but we're still talking some Blues. Do you find yourself in this summertime rewatching any specific previous games? This could be like the Stanley Cup Finals. This could be when Kachuk was playing. Like, it could be anything. Pronger. Do you find yourself rewatching any old games in the summer? Or are you somebody that just is like, you know what, I'm going to take a break from hockey and I'm going to continue once the season begins? I think the problem is this. It is so difficult these days to entertain people, right? Because it needs to be constant. With football, I mean, here's the thing. Like, football is different because I feel like they always have things going on with the draft, and then they have the practices and training, but like, they always have things. But so does hockey in a really weird way, but people don't always pay attention to it. Like, we just had, well, not we, the St. Louis Blues just had their prospect development camp. And it was interesting. And it's one of those things where I guess you can say, like, you can make some stories out of it. They got Kevin Hayes, but I know that I talked about that way too much. But there's not much going on necessarily with the Blues. But across the whole board of the NHL, I'm sure you could find enough content to fulfill yourself. But the point that I'm trying to make is, if your team gets, well, not even eliminated, if your team doesn't make it to the playoffs this postseason, so that is April. So then, and let's not even count preseason, because that doesn't, I mean, it counts, but it's like, oh, I'm not going to count it. So if you go from April to October, that's May, June, July, August, September. That's 5 months. And my question for the NHL, in those 5 months that I just named, if the team that you like doesn't make it to the postseason, what can you do to entertain your buyers in a sense, right? Maybe a tournament in the summer, maybe even if it's just like as silly as this sounds, like roller hockey, like anything to see some teams have some battle, yeah. And I'm not saying that this will be like every single NHL team will go out on the ice and battle, but maybe you choose a couple teams that didn't make it to the postseason. Let's go say you choose like the Anaheim Ducks and the St. Louis Blues. I said Anaheim. I don't know why. That was just the first thing that came to my mind when I thought didn't make it to the postseason. And they're a pretty like high profile team because of Trevor Zegras, and they get a lot of attention. And I don't understand why, because they're not a good team. The point is, you have two teams battle. So you have the Ducks and the Blues. Would you watch, and this wouldn't count towards anything in the regular season, but let me propose to you this. If it is July, okay, today's July 10th, would you watch these two teams battle it out on the ice in a little tournament action, right? Where like whoever advances plays like the Blackhawks. Like, you get what I'm saying? Would you watch something like that, like over a course of like a weekend? Or would you just want no hockey at all? I feel like this would be an interesting thing to have like the kids in development camp play in. And it wouldn't be players that are like, it wouldn't be like a Braden Shen on the ice. It wouldn't be a Binner. It would be probably a lot of the kids that are in development camp. I think that would be more fun because while they do have scrimmages at development camp, I feel like for me personally, I would have loved to see these guys on the Blues battle against another team. Oh, where am I? I would find that to be entertaining, and I would find it to be honestly worth it, and it would make me more excited about the hockey season. So just a little idea, a little thought that came into my head for today's episode, because I was thinking about it and I'm like, oh man, July kind of just sucks. All right, before I talk about the final thing, I'm going to tell you guys about eBay Motors. Listen, my computer's dead, so I will have everything in the description below. But eBay Motors is the best, and if you're counting on something that's dependable, reliable, eBay Motors has you eBay guaranteed. So make sure you guys head over to eBay Motors. eBay Motors is the best. I will have everything, by the way, linked down below. Like, I can't help it. Like, I literally don't have a printer, and my computer's dead. Okay. So the last thing I wanted to touch on is this game that I've been playing. It's like Puckadoo or Puckaroo or something Puck. And it's like this Immaculate Grid or something like that. And they had one for baseball, and now they have one for hockey. And I was playing it. I thought it was kind of fun. I'm like, okay. And yesterday they had on the St. Louis Blues. I'm like, it's about time. And obviously I got the Blues stuff correct, right? But then here's the challenge. And this is why this game is so frustrating. I'm doing this game. I'm doing this little shenanigans of this game, right? I'm doing the whole, choosing the grids, blah, blah, blah. I was so mind-boggled today. So yesterday, I think I had Kachuk down. I think I had Pronger down. And I forget who the other one was. Maybe it was like Jordan Kyrou. It was somebody. But today, it was like the most random teams. And it was like the Dallas Stars and the Toronto Maple Leafs both had this one player with 40-plus goals this season. And my mind was boggled. And I thought to myself, who would know this? And the thing about this game is that when you type in the player's name, it tells you like the amount of percentage of people that got it correct. So for instance, it was the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Colorado Avalanche. I put Nikabe Kubel. Even though like he doesn't deserve it, I still know that he played for both teams. And that was like 2% correct. But then there was people that I saw that had people down that had like 0.01%. I'm like, what? I have 2 questions for you. Do you care about this game if your team that you support is not a part of it? Or you're like, this is fun. I test my hockey knowledge. I was so frustrated, I gotta tell you. I usually don't get frustrated when it comes to games. I'm usually like, I'm chill, I'm cool, I'm just vibing. This game, I was sitting there like, on my computer before it died. Rest in peace. And I was like, I can't do this. This is crazy. And I was like freaking out. And I just wanted to come on here and ask you, have you played this game before? Because this game is one of the most infuriating things. But it stemmed another idea in my head. What if, instead of having all the NHL teams, it was just trivia about the St. Louis Blues? Now, I can't create games. I'm not a web designer, right? But I am a brain thinker designer. What if St. Louis, somebody came up with a way to like create this game online? I don't know. And it was like, first goalie on the Blues to record a shutout. And it just had a bunch of questions. I know that's like more like trivia in a sense, but would you enjoy a game that's just Blues trivia and every day would be like a new trivia question? I feel like I would be entertained by that because I do this podcast every day. And every day I'm coming up with new, my new context and topics and ideas, blah, 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 blah. And I just feel like I am somebody that is such a nerd when it comes to the game of hockey. And I just feel like having your own team be in this kind of like trivia sense would be kind of fun. Because while I do know things about other teams, right? I do cover the NHL. There are so many things to know, and you're not going to remember every single player. It's impossible to. So I feel like it would be cool just to have something, maybe even if it was just like the Central Division, a little bit more like focused in, rather than have it be the entire NHL and the entire history of the NHL. I couldn't tell you. I just sat there and I was like shocked. I was like, oh man, can I do this or can I not do this? I did it, but it wasn't great. So the point is, you can find on Locked On Blues on my Twitter for the podcast, I will be posting my grid scores daily because as hockey nerds, we as a fandom, as a hockey fandom, we know that if a player played on, I'm trying to think of like random teams that I don't care about, the Flames and the Canucks. I don't know why I chose 2 Canadian teams. They could have potentially been on the Blues at one point. So while it is talking about other hockey teams, it can still relate back to St. Louis. And every single time that there is a team that has a connection to St. Louis, even if St. Louis isn't on the board that day, but I know for a fact that that player played with the Blues, I'm going to put the Blues player down. And I hope you guys do the same that are listening. And it could be a fun little bonding experience for us here on Locked On Blues. All right. Well, I guess I have 2 things to say. 1, technology sucks. And 2, there's going to be a new episode tomorrow. So make sure you guys are on the lookout for that. And I guess in the pattern of me saying I have 2 things to say and then saying 3 things, I will finally end this episode by saying, like I always do, let's go Blues.